What's going on, my PT peeps, my Walking Dead family, my fighters? I'm One Eyebrow, also known as PT. Don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about the Walking Dead universe, Dead City, and did you catch these things from the Walking Dead universe in Dead City? We're going to talk about the shows and the comics, so spoiler warning for all things Walking Dead, obviously for Dead City, but Little Pig, let me in. Is it a callback connection to Herschel's missing toe? Could be. So we know that Negan went to Alexandria, banged on the gates, and said, Little Pig, let me in. Like the nursery rhyme, The Little Piggy. And in Dead City, we see that Herschel lost his little piggy. Also, Herschel is playing the guitar, and it's a callback to Glenn playing the guitar in season 2 when he basically first met Maggie. So it's a nice callback, and there's a lot of callbacks, Easter eggs, connections, foreshadowing that I caught after watching these episodes a couple times. Sometimes you may have missed it after watching it one time, but did this little piggy go to market? So the little piggy went to market? I don't know, because he lost his pinky toe. It's right there. The Dama has it, which is kind of creepy and gross, but now the Dama controls Negan somewhat. But when Negan goes to Alexandria in season 7 of The Walking Dead, and he does this big intro, little pig, let me in, and they slide open the gate, and who is there to greet Negan? Anyone? Well, there's two people I think that are standing by the gate. One is Rosita, and the other is Spencer, who he guts, which if you know this channel, you know that for me, season 7 is the weakest season in The Walking Dead, but there are some big scenes. This is straight from the comic, and it's pretty gruesome and gory. Whatever happened to that knife? That's a badass knife that Negan has right there. It looks like Rambo's knife. But he guts Spencer. Everyone looks on. They can't believe it. Everyone's in shock. And then in Dead City, Negan guts one of the Barazzi, like this. The Barazzi look up. They're all in shock. Negan's putting on a show. Very similar stuff here. Negan isn't messing around. And when Negan is putting on his show again, he does a knock-knock joke. So he loves the little jokes, the theater, over-the-topness. He puts on a display of power, right? And it's pretty crazy. If you think about the dynamic of Negan, he's come a long way. Whether you like him now, love him, or you always loved him, it's pretty interesting. Herschel is a punk. He's a brat. He's a moody teenager. He's being raised by a single mom. It's tough, right? But it's on par with comic Herschel. So this is Coral punching Herschel in issue 193. Find out more about that. Check out The Walking Dead issue 193, the final issue of The Walking Dead. And when Herschel has the hat, it's from Negan, even though Maggie doesn't say that. It's definitely a callback to Glenn and Herschel wearing hats. Pretty cool touch. When they are in the souvenir shop, Armstrong and Negan, if you look around closely, you see stuff for the Statue of Liberty, different little placards. You also see Broadway, Brooklyn, even though Armstrong is from the Bronx. It's just kind of setting up that he's a New Yorker. And again, if you look around the souvenir shop, you get to see the different license plates, number 1 mom, which I guess means Maggie, right? So we see the different connections here with the souvenir shop and these guys. The King Francis Theater is, I don't know, I'm not a New Yorker if it's made up, but could be a connection to Broadway and the theater that we meet with the Dama. Negan's sign that he comes across, do not open, dead outside, is definitely a callback to Rick in season 9, episode 5. That was changed in the dream sequence because it's don't open dead outside with a line through the don't, and then Rick opens it, of course, so they didn't listen to the sign, either character, but it's definitely a callback to the first episode of The Walking Dead. Also, the Walker fingers are coming through the door here. They also come through a shot in Dead City. So there's all some callbacks and connections, and if you know this channel, and if you probably like this show like I do, and The Walking Dead universe, you love the callbacks and connections and when they mix things up. It's just cool. I love it. It's something we're familiar with. The nostalgia is always a good idea in shows and movies, and The Walking Dead does a pretty good job with that. In the bar with Negan, we see a baseball player in the picture by Negan's side. We see a horse, and throughout the bar, I don't have pictures of it, but if you have the time, go watch the first episode of Dead City. You see different callbacks and connections. I believe there's a Bengals picture in the bar, which could be a connection to Shiva and little things like that. Ginny writes liar on the wall in Walker blood, calling Maggie a liar. And she basically was. She lied to Negan about the grain. The Croat didn't come there for the grain, and Ginny called out Maggie. But we saw a similar thing here, and it actually said liar with the governor in season 4 of The Walking Dead. This person is missing their head, but this person was a liar evidently and was killed in the process. Also, Herschel is killed by the governor, and what does the governor say? Liar. Slice. And that was Maggie's father, so a little connection there. The Dama is a new character that we met here. She has the power, she runs things, she recruited Negan, and she's pretty interesting. I don't know what's going to happen with this character, why she has so much power, but she's connected with the King Francis Theater and production, and she was probably an actress, but she's reading a book right here. Frontiers of Historical Imagination, narrating the European conquest of Native America, 1890 to 1990. That's a real book. You can find it on Amazon right here. Frontiers of Historical Imagination, narrating the European conquest of Native America, 1890 to 1990. It's pretty expensive, but you can buy that book on Amazon. Maggie looking like Jill Valentine from the Resident Evil series. Is it a callback? Easter egg? Connection? Coincidence? But either way, myself and a lot of Resident Evil fans saw the connection. The short haircut, the look. Maggie and Jill look very similar. What do you make of this? We saw a Negan flashback with Lucille sitting at the table, and it was really cool to see Simon, and I would love to see more of these. We could hopefully see Dwight in a cameo flashback thing next season, but who knows. But Simon showing up was foreshadowing that he was going to be one of these dead pricks right here lined up later on in the seasons of The Walking Dead. Negan, well, Jeffrey Dean Morgan has his cell phone in his pocket. Don't know if you caught it. It's in one of the promotional photos. It's pretty cool to see Simon versus the Croat. Was the Simon Croat thing all for show? Because Simon was pretty terrible. We saw later on in The Walking Dead. The Croat was a pretty smart guy using the saw blades and motorcycle helmets. He could just headbutt the walkers and kill them. Pretty smart. When we went to New Babylon, well, when Maggie went there first, we saw 2 walkers hanging. Well, I guess they're called hangers, right? Because they're not walking. So we saw 2 people that were hanged or hung, however you want to say it. They were 2 right here. When Armstrong went there later on in the series, there were 3, and I believe they were all different. So New Babylon's not messing around. When Maggie is leaving the parking lot, we see an RV there. To me, I instantly thought of Dale's RV, but it looks kind of different. So it's kind of like a hybrid of Dale's RV and the RV that Heath and Tara took from the Saviors, even though this one's kind of smaller. So either way, the Walking Dead universe and the zombie apocalypse needs to have an RV. The deers of the Walking Dead universe. The CGI deer was back and it looked much better. Now, the deer would be important in a zombie apocalypse because the wildlife would take over. They would run around. This is the worst deer by far in the Walking Dead universe. It was in season 7, and they vary from different seasons, and the CGI looks good, looks bad. It is what it is, but it showed up again. So these are the things that I caught. Let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. And I'm sure there's things that I missed. So let me know in the comments. It's always fun for people to point out things that I may have missed or didn't talk about in the video. And again, I'm not perfect, so I miss things all the time. I love to talk about the Walking Dead universe, and I really enjoyed Dead City. It was a good sign that this was really the first spinoff since the main show ended. I mean, Fear the Walking Dead was the original spinoff, but I think Dead City was good. The Daryl show is hopefully awesome, and hopefully The Ones Who Live will also be great. Like, share, subscribe, support the PT channel when you can. Big shout out to my subscribers, my patrons, my members. We truly appreciate all the love and support. We can't do without you guys. Stay safe, and as always, tell them Daryl.
Yo, we love you.